What attracts you to women isn't actually about them. It's about what's missing in you. Carl Jung discovered this psychological blind spot that keeps men trapped in cycles of frustration. The brutal truth? Your desire isn't seeing reality. It's creating illusions that eventually destroy you. Throughout history, men have searched for answers outside themselves. They blame women, society, or circumstances for their pain. But Jung uncovered a psychological mechanism that changes everything: projection. Every man carries what Jung called the anima, the unconscious feminine aspect within the male psyche. When this remains unintegrated, you project it onto women you meet. Suddenly, she's not a real person. She's carrying all your unconscious material. Think about your strongest attractions, that immediate, almost magnetic pull towards certain women. Jung would tell you this isn't about her qualities. It's your unconscious recognizing itself in external form. Your anima is seeking expression through her. This projection creates a dangerous illusion. You're not seeing the woman. You're seeing your own soul image reflected back. This explains the common male experience: intense fascination followed by crushing disappointment. The woman who once seemed perfect gradually reveals herself to be human. But she didn't change. Your projection simply cracked. The fantasy was yours all along. This is why the same relationship patterns repeat. Different women, same problems. Jung discovered that until you integrate your anima, you'll continue projecting this unresolved energy outward. What you meet in women is your own unconscious, Jung wrote. This means every frustration you feel toward female nature is actually an encounter with your disowned self. Most men never realize this. They spend their lives chasing external validation through women, never understanding that what they seek is inside them. They blame female nature for disappointments that originated in their own psyche. The first step toward freedom is recognizing this mechanism. Every time you feel triggered by female behavior, pause and ask, what part of myself am I refusing to see? While Jung focused on the psychological dimension, philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer took a more controversial stance on male-female dynamics. His perspective is uncomfortable, but offers insights worth exploring. Schopenhauer suggested that what men often mistake for love is actually biological imperative in disguise. He observed that women exist primarily in the present, driven by instinct rather than abstract thought. Women exist in the present. Man sacrifices the present for the future, he wrote. This creates a fundamental disconnect. Men project metaphysical ideals onto women who operate from biological realism. You're speaking different languages without realizing it. What men interpret as manipulation or emotional tactics are often survival strategies hardwired by evolution. This isn't a moral failing, but a different operating system. The suffering comes when men expect women to function against their nature. The harsh truth? Your romantic idealism blinds you to reality. The disappointment you feel isn't because women have failed you. It's because your expectations were fantasy from the start. This isn't about demonizing women. It's about questioning the illusions men create in the name of love. When you stop demanding that reality conform to your desires, you can finally see clearly. This is where ancient Stoic philosophy offers the most practical wisdom. The Stoics understood something crucial. Desire, not its object, creates suffering. Epictetus said it plainly. He who is ruled by desire is not free. When you obsess over women, idealize them, or blame them for your pain, you're not experiencing them, you're experiencing your own attachment. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from mastering your impressions, not controlling external reality. You cannot control women's nature, but you can control your response to it. Instead of resisting reality, the Stoic man accepts it without judgment. He doesn't waste energy wishing women were different. He understands their nature and adapts accordingly. This means 1. Seeing clearly without projection. 2. Mastering emotional reactions instead of being ruled by them. 3. Finding completeness within rather than seeking it in others. When you integrate the feminine within yourself, your capacity for emotion, connection, and receptivity, you no longer desperately seek these qualities in women. You become whole. The greatest paradox? When you stop needing women to fulfill you, your relationships with them actually improve. You can appreciate them as they are, not as repositories for your psychological material. So what does all this mean for the modern man? How do you apply these insights from Jung, Schopenhauer, and the Stoics to transform your experience with women? First, recognize the projection mechanism. When you feel intense attraction or aversion, pause and ask, is this about her or my own unconscious material? Start journaling about patterns in your relationships. The same conflicts appearing with different women reveal your projections. Second, do the inner work Jung prescribed. Shadow integration isn't comfortable, but it's necessary. Examine the feminine qualities you've rejected in yourself. Emotional sensitivity, intuition, vulnerability. These aren't weaknesses, but complementary strengths you've disowned. Third, adopt the Stoic practice of distinguishing between what you can and cannot control. You cannot control female nature, but you can control your expectations and responses. Stop demanding that reality conform to your desires. The ultimate goal isn't to become immune to women's influence, but to engage with them from wholeness rather than lack. When you're no longer seeking salvation through women, you can finally appreciate them as they are. Remember, your healing isn't about changing women. It's about changing your relationship with yourself. The masculine and feminine exist within you. Integration, not projection, is the path to freedom. This understanding changes everything. The next time you feel triggered by female behavior, remember, your reaction reveals more about you than about her. Jung saw that most men live their entire lives trapped in this cycle of projection and disappointment. They die never knowing that what they sought in women always existed within themselves. But here's where it gets deeper. These emotional reactions to women, the sudden anger, the inexplicable attraction, the crushing disappointment, they're all symptoms of what Jung called unconscious projection. Every time she triggers you, your shadow is speaking. The woman who easily irritates you, she's displaying qualities you've disowned in yourself. That intense attraction that seems to consume your thoughts. It's your anima seeking integration through external form. This is exactly why mastering your emotional responses is crucial before you can truly understand female nature. Until you recognize these unconscious triggers, you'll remain reactive rather than responsive in all your relationships. We explored this psychological mechanism in depth in our video, Carl Jung's Secret. Do this and nothing will ever bother you again, where we break down the specific techniques Jung and the Stoics used to transform emotional triggers into sources of self-knowledge. The question isn't whether women will trigger you tomorrow, they will. The real question is, will you recognize these reactions as messengers revealing what needs integration within yourself? Here's what I want you to do. Think of the last woman who really got under your skin, whether through attraction or irritation. In the comments, describe what specific quality about her triggered your strongest reaction. Don't just say, she was manipulative or she was beautiful. Dig deeper. What exact behavior or trait hit you the hardest? That reaction is your unconscious trying to tell you something about yourself. Let's decode it together.